This is part 4. In this section, we're going to go ahead and replace our temporary charge with the actual calculation of the charge. The charge is based upon kilowatt hours used, so let's go back to the assignment. We're pretty much going to copy this table into our program just so we can keep our eyes on it. So we're going to copy it in right here, and we're going to make a comment out of it. So we're going to fix it all up so we have a comment. Okay, we don't need this anymore. Put these in the comments. Sorry about that. Okay. So now we're going to calculate this based upon this. So we're going to have an if statement. It's going to be an if, else if, else if, else if. We can go the route of lower bounds. So we can say if kilowatt hours used is less than or equal to 500, I'm going to use the first rate. What's the formula? Charge is equal to 53 plus times used. Right? And basically going to go and say else if this, else if that, and finally we're going to say else. So what's the last formula? 407 cents plus 0.017 times that. What's the charge here? Kilowatt hours is less than or equal to 1,000. We're going to use 7550 plus 125 times that. Else is less than or equal to 3,000. It's going to be 125.75 plus 17 times kilowatt hours used. So we're using the upper bound. If it's less than or equal to the upper bound, we do it here. We try the upper bound here. We try the upper bound here. And then else takes care of this. All right. So with this, we ought to be able to print out the correct charge. So let's go ahead and save this. Let's compile it. And let's try to run it. Again, we're still working as if we're not getting it from the file. We'll say 0 to 100. And we have power usage, we have meter readings, etc. Alright, you might notice that the meter readings does not have the 8 digits. How do we do that? We do that by doing a set fill. We'll do that later. But it looks like we're getting the right sort of outputs out. Let's see what we do if we say I use 4,000 and my name. Okay. Do it again. Oh, first input has to be none. There's going to be 4,000 04000 my name. Okay, we have that cost. Let's try it again. None 3000 my name. None 3000 my name. Okay, so I think we're getting there. So it looks like it's working. Now let's finish this off. Notice that it looks like most of the program is intact. What's missing? What seems to be missing is handling the file. Okay, everything else looks totally okay. We've gone from easy to hard. So let's do the last part now. So if the file name is none, we read from the keyboard. Otherwise, what do we have to do? Let's take a look. Otherwise, we got to open the input file and print out a message if it can't be done. What are we going to do? Let's do it real quickly. We're going to open the input file and we're going to read the data. We're not going to do the middle part yet. Let's do the simple part. So we're going to say else. We have multiple things to do. So what's the first thing we're going to do? Well, let's make sure we have a variable for the input file. We don't have one, so we need a stream variable. I have stream. I'm going to call it end file. This is file containing customer data. Okay. So what do we have to do? How do we open the file? We have the stream variable. We want to open. We want to use the file name. Notice the file name is a C++ string, so we must convert it to a C string. And now we are going to read the input. How do we read the input? It's really these same three here. I'm going to copy the same stuff. Instead of saying CN, we're going to say NF, NF, and NF. Alright? Now, at some point we need to close the file if we're reading everything. And generally, technically speaking, we close files at the very end. So let's just go ahead and down here say we're going to say nf.close, because we do that as the last thing generally. And we're just going to put a comment in that says close file. Okay, now let's compile this real fast. So we're going to compile it. We're going to run it. We have a file called customer, remember? We're going to run it. We're going to say customer is the file name. And notice that we're getting the reading from the customer file. Okay, the last thing to do, we'll have to defer that. The last thing to do is to do the error checking. And we will do that on a future segment of this.